At least for the moment, the Israel-Hamas war continues on. Israel is, of course, getting cold feet in terms of continuing, given international opposition. If you call it opposition, it's not legitimate opposition. It's based a lot on anti-Semitism. It's based on hatred of Jews. It's based on, frankly, not caring what happens to the state of Israel. But that being said, the United States is furthering that with its benevolence, for lack of a better word, or lack thereof, with regard to Israel. Today, the Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin, and also John Kirby, who speaks for him, he's the press secretary of the Department of Defense. And of course, Blinken's behind this, Biden's behind this, is talking about the attacks by the Houthis in Yemen to shipping in the Red Sea. The Americans lack courage, of course, not Americans like you and me, but the Americans who are in our government, who are frankly not very American at all. And they're getting international support because the Biden administration is afraid to take action on its own. And they term what the Houthis are doing in terms of sending missiles into shipping vessels going to Israel and elsewhere in the Red Sea, disrupting trade, causing those ships to go around Africa, the Cape Horn, which is going to raise the price of a lot of things and also delay the supply line. They're calling that simply unacceptable. Well, these are attacks by Iran. These are acts of war. And to call them unacceptable tells you where the Biden administration is coming from, and it's fear to take on Iran. The time has come, and now is the time, if you're going to do it, for the United States to use superior military force to take out the military facilities in Iran, particularly of the Revolutionary Guard, and to take out its nuclear facilities. This is the perfect opportunity. I've said that, and it needs to be done now. Because whatever happens with regard to Hamas, it does not solve the problem with Iran, which is a threat not just to Israel and the United States, it's a threat to our other greatest ally in the area, Saudi Arabia. Remember, Saudi Arabia was fighting the Houthis, and they were being criticized for that, frankly, by the Biden regime. The Saudi Arabians are on our side, and they're at risk too. Many in the Arab world would like to see the Saudi royal family dead. They would like to be able to inhabit Mecca, which is the center of the Islamic universe. They want the oil in Saudi Arabia. And yet we're afraid to take on the Houthis, which are the mortal enemy of Saudi Arabia, right next to Saudi Arabia. It's in the southern part underneath it, because they are the proxies of Iran. Iran wants to destroy the royal family, and they want to destroy Saudi Arabia. Iran is Shiite, Saudi Arabia is Sunni. The Shiites and the Sunnis hate themselves, each other, as much as perhaps they hate Jews and Christians, although I don't believe the Saudis are at that level right now. They have tried to make friends with Israel and also with Jews and Christians. In fact, there's even a rabbi in Saudi Arabia, at least there used to be, who was sanctioned by the king. So this is what you're dealing with right now. You're dealing with a cowardly Biden administration, and you have to ask yourself, has Biden been blackmailed or bought, as he was with communist China, Russia, and Ukraine, by Iran? I would say yes. Iran has very sophisticated intelligence services, very sophisticated techniques of intercepting information, and they probably have a dossier even bigger than U.S. intelligence agencies and the FBI has on the Biden crime family. Now let's talk about another outrage. The judge in New York City sitting atop the civil fraud trial of Donald Trump. Whatever you think of President Trump, the fact is that this judge is more than biased. He hates Trump. And yesterday he made a statement that even though Trump presented an expert witness that he valued his property within the realm of accuracy, the judge wouldn't wait to even deliberate on that, issued a ruling in effect yesterday. I won't believe the expert. I don't believe anything Trump says or his experts. They're all lies. This judge is a threat to the legal system. There are many like him, unfortunately, out there who wear their politics on their sleeve. He needs to be removed. I know Elise Stefanik in Congress filed an ethics complaint against him, but that won't be enough. His colleagues will clearly protect him. We need to make an overt, peaceful, and legal to get him out of there, and we will be seeking his indictment and conviction and sentencing in Freedom Watch's citizens' grand juries and citizens' trials. We need to set an example, mostly for federal judges. They're the ones that are most biased and prejudiced. They're not held accountable. They believe they're there for life. They aren't really, but they act that way. No one will actually enforce the Constitution. They're only there for good behavior. But also the state judges. And what is the Republican establishment doing on Capitol Hill, the Judiciary Committee of Jim Jordan? Nothing. They have the ability to haul judges in front of Congress. They have the ability to impeach federal judges. They do nothing. This is where we are, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, fellow patriots. We need to do it for ourselves. We cannot sit around and wait for our corrupt government, run now by the left, to take action on our behalf. Go to freedomwatchusa.org, join our Justice League, contribute with tax-deductible contributions. We need to get bigger. We need more lawyers. We need more paralegals. We need more office space. We need your help. If you care, and I say this over and over again because I want it to sink in, about your kids, grandkids, or future generations, or if you're young or middle-aged, care about yourselves in any way other than being deluded that things are all going to be fine, because they're not. We all collectively better rise up now. As Benjamin Franklin said, either we all hang together or separately we will hang. We're on the verge of that today. And when you see a Biden regime that is afraid of its own shadow, that will not support even our own shipping interests in the Red Sea, that puts together a so-called coalition of countries, frankly, who have not been on the side of Israel to begin with. Even the British abstained in the last resolution before the General Assembly. Then you know that we are in trouble. And to say that this is just simply unacceptable behavior, we're not dealing here with children here. We're dealing with the Houthis, who are also terrorists, who are sending missiles, not just into Israel. And I might add, Saudi Arabia has intercepted them on behalf of Israel. They want to be allies of Israel, but also sending those missiles into shipping vessels bound for Israel and elsewhere. And our government says, to use the term loosely, oh, it's just unacceptable. Then you know you have no government at all that will protect us. I'll be back tomorrow with another special podcast. Until then, remember, the Father and Son will only help us if we help ourselves. Please go to freedomwatchusa.org and contribute to our cause, and join our Justice League and be part of the solution, not part of the problem. I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you for listening to me.